growing up in the 50s and 60s, growing up in the 50s and 60s, sex and gender roles were rigidly defined. I, growing up, was overweight and a little unkempt. So in elementary school, someone dubbed me Miss Droopy Socks of Francis Scott Key Elementary. And there were very few overweight kids in those days. And so in my mind, if you were overweight, you were fat. If you were fat, you were by definition unattractive. And I'm sure I carried myself that way. But nonetheless, at school, I thrived. It was actually a haven for me from some serious problems at home. I was a good student, I was enthusiastic, I had good friends, I was involved in many activities. When I got to high school, which is 10th grade in those days, I took a debate class. I was the only girl in the class. And after a couple of weeks, the teacher, who was also the coach of the school debate team, said that she was going to be holding auditions after school for the next 2 days, and anyone who was interested in being on the team could come try out. Well, there were already boys in the class who had been on the team, and they had experience. I assumed they had some sort of seniority. I didn't think I had a chance. I didn't even go. But the first day of the auditions, a boy from my class who lived nearby stopped at my house after the audition, and he said that the teacher had asked him to come by. Of course, we didn't have cell phones. Asked him to come by and asked me to audition the next day. So I did, and much to my surprise, she put me right on the varsity team right off the bat. And as the school year progressed, our team was doing very well, I was doing very well, and I loved debate. One day, the teacher said she wanted to see me after school. So when I went into her class, she closed the door, she sat on the desk directly across from me, and she said, "Margie, I've been talking to the judges about you, and they all say the same thing. They say you're an excellent debater, but you debate just like the boys do." My heart sank. I knew what she meant. I was too aggressive. I was too masculine. And then she said, Royal Oak Kimball had a great debate team. She says, they have a team of girls. And I think you should go watch them because they're excellent debaters and they're very feminine. Well, I had close friends I might have confided in. I'm a sharer by nature, but I did not tell a soul. I was so mortified. And I went and watched those girls debate. They were literally wearing white frilly blouses, carefully coiffed hairdos, and they spoke like this. "We disagree with the contention of the gentleman from the..." I'll never forget this. I sat in that auditorium by myself, and I thought, oh my God, I'm supposed to be like that. And I can never be like that. And if I'm not like that, someone's always going to be pointing a finger at me and saying, "You're not feminine." I wanted to quit debate on the spot. But that night, I sat with my mom at the dining room table, and I told her what had happened. And I burst into tears. I could cry right now. I burst into tears, and I said, "I don't have a feminine bone in my body." And my wonderful mother, who knew me better than I knew myself, she said, "You don't see yourself. You happen to be a very feminine person." She said, "Do you still want to be a lawyer?" That had been my dream since I watched Perry Mason as a little kid. And I said, "I don't think I can compete." And she said, "You don't see yourself. Of course you can compete." Well, I changed my thinking over time, and it started with deciding that if I needed to turn myself into a Barbie doll, and Barbie was no feminist in those days, I had to turn myself into a Barbie doll to comply with some gender norms. I could reject those gender norms. And that's what I did. I continued to debate just like the boys did. I continued to win. I continued to love it. And that success gave me the confidence I needed to beat my way through law school and into a 40-year, very exciting, deeply satisfying career as a trial lawyer in the courtroom fighting for justice. Now, things have changed over time, and I was part of it because in the 12th grade, I helped a protest movement. You had to wear skirts to school. All of the girls came to school wearing pants one day. They sent us all home to change, but the next day they changed the rule. So it seems to me that the pace of change has accelerated in recent years, and that delights me. And I'm hoping that one day soon, every person will be accepted and appreciated for who they are, no matter who that happens to be.